I watch a lot of movies in TV.
Wait, this is interesting. Why do we all need subtitles? Wait, I'm gonna watch this then in stream. Okay.
I watch a lot of movies.
Educational
in TV,
video.
on the train, at home, in the movies, while working out, doing dishes, in the bath. But no matter where I'm watching, I find myself constantly doing this one thing.
Click on subtitles. That's facts. This is facts.
I think it'll always be hard. I think it'll always be hard.
What? Now it makes way more sense.
It turns out this isn't unusual.
Okay.
We polled our YouTube audience, and about 57% of people said that they feel like they can't understand the dialogue in the things that they watch unless they're using subtitles.
In movies,
but
yeah.
It feels like this hasn't always been the case. So to figure out what was going on, I made a call.
No,
Hi, my name is Austin Olivia
What?
Kendrick.
You don't be doing that. You're lying, bro. Deadass do, bro. In almost every movie, anime, of course, but you know, bro, I be doing that shit, bro. I got to, bro. It feels
I'm a
wrong.
professional dialogue editor
I
for
don't like subtitles. Oh yeah, yell out for you,
film
bro.
and TV. I basically perform audio surgery on actors' words.
Do you watch with subtitles?
I do actually.
Damn.
I do a lot of the time.
So, why do you think that we all feel like we need subtitles now?
I get asked this question all the time. All the time. It's something that is. It doesn't have a simple, straightforward answer. It's very layered and very complex.
And after talking to Austin for almost 2 hours, it's true.
2 hours,
it's a very layered and complex topic. But everything kept pointing back to one main thing.
What?
Technology that got us from this
I'll get you.
You should be kissed and off.
No, Richard, no, what has happened to your life?
to this.
I just woke out of slim waisted.
We better put out now.
Huh?
Let's start with microphones. I'm gonna use this clip from Singin' in the Rain to show how mics used to work.
Here's the mic. You talk towards it. The sound goes through the cable to the box.
Yeah.
A man records it on a big record in wax.
Okay.
This scene illustrates some of the difficulties and intricacies of early sound recording. Mics were big, bulky, temperamental, and required creative solutions to be hidden. They were wired and recorded onto hard memory, like wax and eventually tape. No matter how many actors were in a scene, all sound got recorded to one track. So performers had to be diligently focused and facing a certain angle so that their words could be picked up.
What?
Otherwise...
Welcome back, Ronnie. What?
You couldn't hear a thing.
Yo, that's fine. I
But
didn't
technology's improved to the point where microphones don't impede performance as much anymore.
Facts.
They've become
Look at me,
better,
bro.
smaller,
I'm half silver.
wireless, and we use more of them to ensure that performances get captured.
What we typically are working with from production dialogue is 2 boom microphones, and then every actor has at least 1 lavalier microphone hidden somewhere on them.
These shrinking mics have given actors the flexibility to be more naturalistic in their performances.
Facts.
They no longer need to project so that their words reach the mic.
Facts.
They can speak softly knowing that the tiny mic hidden on their body will pick up what they're saying.
Fire,
And
bro.
my personal favorite example of this performance shift is Alec Baldwin on 30 Rock.
I almost fell
In
asleep.
a 2011 speech
Why you hating
slash
Wesley?
roast, Tina Fey says that he speaks so quietly that she can't hear him when she's standing next to him. And then you play the film back and it's there somehow.
Just listen to this whisper off
Nice.
between him and Will Arnett.
I'm not afraid of you. Yeah. Well, you should be. Let's just see how it all shakes out in the meeting.
Naturalism isn't always the best for intelligibility, though. Take Tom Hardy, an actor that I personally love, but who famously is a mumbler.
With that ass?
Your ass is still be floating around in Missouri right now.
Oh, hell
I mean, the mic picked that line up fine. Like, we can definitely hear that he's talking. He's saying something. But once that mumble gets recorded, it's onto a dialogue editor's shoulder to make it as intelligible as possible.
And that was a lot harder when everything was analog. While you could pick the best takes and physically spice them together, if some piece of dialogue was
truly impossible to understand, then actors will come in and re-record.
Wait, was that actually how they edit like silent moments? They cut parts
you could
off.
pick the best takes and
What?
physically spice them together.
Bro, imagine me making a YouTube video, or I have to take something out my PC, cut it, Nah.
Together,
I'll never
if
make
some
an
piece of
YouTube
dialogue
video
was
at all, bro. I don't
truly
care.
impossible to understand, then actors will come in and re-record those specific lines in a process called ADR, or Automated Dialogue Replacement, which you can see Meryl Streep do in this scene from Postcards from the Edge.
There's enough money in the world to further a cause like yours.
That still gets done today, but
ADR also costs money because you're not only paying for the actor's time, you're paying for the engineer's time and then the editor's time.
What is
so
all that is, bro?
we try to do
I don't
ADR,
understand this.
frankly, as little as possible.
And so a lot of her job is making words sound better.
The show I'm currently working on, I remember in the middle
My
of
bad,
this,
not trying to hate, but this
works
is
to
too
make sure
hard.
the frequencies of the sound effects and music don't overlap with the frequencies of the human voice. Something that's only possible.
Okay, this is me making a YouTube video or whatever. This is the sound that plays on the background. No, this is sound effects I add, and then the music. Okay, makes
Possible
sense.
now that the world has moved away from tape and
Yep,
into
makes
digital
sense, makes
recordings.
sense, makes sense,
that
makes
is
sense.
a big challenge, carving out those frequencies, that space amongst every other element of the mix for the dialogue to be able to punch through
makes sense, bro.
and not be all muddied up
it's
by
easy, bro.
any
If I
other
can do it,
sounds
everyone
that
can do it, bro.
exist in that band of frequencies.
But even with all that work, lines of dialogue can still be hard to understand.
The kind of feeling has been, if you want your movie to feel quote unquote cinematic, you have to have wall-to-wall bombastic loud sound. A lot of people will ask, like, why don't you just turn the dialogue up? Like, just turn it up. And if only it was that simple. Because a big thing that we want to preserve is a concept called dynamic range. The range between your quietest sound and your loudest sound. If you have your dialogue that's going to be at the same volume as an explosion that immediately follows it, the explosion is not going to feel as big. You need that contrast in volume in order to give your ear.
I have a TikTok span. I cannot listen what a yapper. Holy shit. No, I think it's just our brains, bro. We got TikTok brain, bro.
A sense of scale.
Like,
But the
there's
thing
something
is,
wrong with our
you
brain,
can
bro.
only
Like,
make something so loud before it gets distorted.
So if you want to create that wide dynamic range, you have no choice but to push those quieter sounds lower instead of pushing the louder sounds louder.
So explosions go up and dialogue comes down.
Which brings us to the Christopher Nolan of it all.
What is that, bro?
A separate structure within the other.
What is that, right?
Pushing out of orbit! There is something wrong with her mouth. Why doesn't it hurt? What the fuck is happening, man?
No choice but to
Why
push
should
those
her mouth hurt?
quieter sounds lower
Her mouth looks good, bro.
instead.
As his headline explains, he likes it that way. According to an interview in a book called The Nolan Variations, he said that he gets a lot of complaints, even from other filmmakers, who would say, "I just saw your film and the dialogue is inaudible." The truth was, it was kind of the whole enchilada of how we had chosen to mix it. And in his 2017 interview with IndieWire, he said, "We made the decision a couple of films ago that we weren't going to mix films for substandard theaters."
And this is kind of the crux of the matter. The content that we watch here and here and here is not mixed for us primarily.
Re-recording
So watching
mixers
this at
mix
home?
for the
Yep.
widest surround sound format that is available.
Okay, wait.
Typically, like big release films, that is Dolby Atmos, which has true 3D sound up to 128 channels.
The thing is, if you're not at a movie theater that can showcase the best sound Hollywood has to offer,
I just realized, do they have a lot of speakers to make this shit feel... Yeah, they probably do. Or I just don't go that much.
you can't experience all of those channels. So after the movie is mixed for the 128 Atmos tracks, somebody has to create a separate version of the film's audio where
Oh, hell
all those
no.
same sounds live on 1 or 2 or 5 tracks. This is called downmixing.
Downmixing is the process of taking that biggest mix and folding it down
Wait, I just realized making sounds is fucking hard,
into
bro.
formats with lesser channels available
My
to
brain.
it. So,
Okay, we're gonna finish this
say
video, bro. Come on, we're like 2 minutes in, and our brain should fucking work
Atmos
it,
down
bro.
to
Come on.
7.1 or 7.1 down to 5.1 or 5.1 down to stereo, stereo down to mono.
Unlike old TVs that were gigantic and had a ton
still
of
have that
space for
TV in
speakers,
my room.
TVs today are super thin. Like this one that I have in my living room is about the same
have an
thickness
old one,
as my
bro.
iPhone. So even though it's outputting the same mono or stereo sound that an older TV might, it's still going to sound worse because you have to have tiny little speakers to fit into this tiny, sleek form factor.
Wow.
These tiny speakers are also usually on the back of the TV.
Just connect
so the
extra speakers.
down-mixed version of this movie that went from 128 channels down to just 2 is going to sound even muddier when it's pointing away from you.
And when you're watching on your phone or a laptop, it's generally not much better. When you combine not great speakers, naturalistic mumbly performances, dynamic range featuring bombastic sounds over dialogue, and a flattened mix, it's no wonder we have trouble hearing what's going on.
I mean, if you have an instant answer like me.
And it seems like the industry knows this, because TVs today are shipping with all kinds of settings built in, like this intelligence mode. You can put on active voice amplification in hopes of making that dialogue track come through just a little bit clearer.
I've never seen it. Analyze noise in real time while you're watching TV so that the voice audio can always be heard clearly. Note that I said.
But of course, that's more band-aid than it is solution. The way movies get mixed likely isn't going to revert back to super pristine dialogue. So the solutions we have are 1, buy better speakers and only go to theaters that have impeccable sound. 2, take a chill pill and try to just worry a little bit less about picking up every single word that gets said. Or 3, just...
We have no TikTok brain, bro. Like, we're men. We have to finish this video, bro. Oh, look, we completed. Holy fuck, what a yapperino. WV, but what the fucking yapperini, no. I'm just like, because I'm interested. One interesting fact that didn't make it into the piece, that the movie chair didn't always consist great sound, only became consistent thanks to Star Wars. Damn, okay, so audio is good just because of Star Wars, okay.